deine Arbeit für richtig hältst, ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in diesem Jahr
This is the ER
eingesetzt
channel,
habe,
Empires and Revolution. Today is the 17th of September. On this date, in 1939, the Soviet Union joined the German invasion of Poland as part of the Nazi-Soviet Pact. Some people try to use this event to demonstrate the moral equivalence of Nazism and communism. The idea is that both Germany and the Soviet Union were aggressive nations seeking to conquer other nations, and that the invasion of Poland was a joint operation and a sort of blood baptism of evil. The only difference was that the Germans started their invasion a few days earlier. Therefore, the theory goes, Germany and the Soviet Union were essentially the same. Bad guys. Now, the point of this brief lecture is not to claim that the Soviets were less moral than the Germans, or equally moral, or more moral. That is a question that can only be resolved by examining all the data. In many ways, the Soviet Union was clearly even more immoral than the Nazis, and in some ways better. It's a much bigger and more complex question. But the focus of this mini-lecture is that the German invasion of Poland was worse than the Soviet invasion of Poland. Now, if you look at this map, this is an ethno-linguistic map of Poland in 1937. And what it shows are the areas inhabited by different ethnic groups in Poland. The dark brown color shows the majority Polish areas. In Germany, there are in fact some majority Polish areas, shown by the light brown shading. The blue areas are areas overwhelmingly inhabited by Belarusians. The green areas, Ukrainian. The red line down the middle of the country is the division point agreed on between the Nazis and the Soviet Union in the infamous Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. As you can see, the German-occupied areas are all heavily inhabited by Poles, whereas the Soviet-occupied areas are largely inhabited by Belarusians and Ukrainians. So, from this it is clear that the Soviets were occupying areas that shared the ethnic characteristics of the existing Soviet population, namely Belarusians and Ukrainians. In fact, you could say that they were reversing the excessive gains made by the Poles in the Russian-Polish War of 1920. Although it wouldn't be proper to talk about those areas being liberated from Polish control, the fact is that many Polish and Belarusian Ukrainians would have welcomed the Red Army to some degree. The same could not possibly be said for the Poles who fell under the control of Nazi Germany. So, although Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia were both acting aggressively and imposing their rule on these populations, it is clear that there is not a moral equivalency in the invasion and partition of Poland. The German invasion is quite a bit worse than the Soviet invasion. This is not said to exonerate the Soviet Union, which was a loathsome and immoral regime in many other ways, but only to say that this is a poor example to demonstrate the moral equivalency between these two evil regimes.